An anonymous questioner says, I live in Scotland. How do I deal with my local Orthodox rabbi, who is a man of God, but makes no mention of the victims of Israel's genocide, but is obsessed with the safety of the hostages and the IDF? Peter, I'm assuming you deal with people like that in your local community all the time.
Yes. I think that the most effective thing that I find in Jewish communities is to try to have people have a human relationship with Palestinians, because we are talking about Palestinians constantly, but never listening to Palestinians, which is a recipe for dehumanization. If synagogues were willing to bring Palestinians in to speak about their experience, so we could start to see ourselves in them, maybe this rabbi is willing to sit down with someone from your town who can just tell them about what their family has been through. I think that can begin a process of change, because I think, and I make the argument, that also that Israeli safety and Palestinian safety are intertwined, right? It just makes very little sense to think that you
Peter,
can expose people to brutal violence and not also create conditions that endanger yourself.
can I push back a little bit, Peter?
Yeah.
Because what you're describing is something I used to push a lot, especially when people talk about Islamophobia. How do you overcome Islamophobia? Well, meet a Muslim, befriend your Muslim neighbor. It's the contact theory, right? The more you come into contact with people, the less you're, surrounded by myths. You see real people. You're away from media depictions.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, there's many counter arguments. I just want to throw one at you, which is,
Yes.
what if a Palestinian says to you, Peter, my job is not to come into a synagogue and educate you. Why should I have to go through the pressure? I'm already victimized in many ways. And the
Yes.
burden is not on me to come into a synagogue or into a Jewish community center and say, hey, everyone, I'm human. Please stop support the killing of my people. Like, what would you say to that argument?
I would say if this particular individual Palestinian doesn't want to do that, of course they don't have no one should.
Others do.
Yes, some other people do, because I think they think it's an effective strategy. And I
Yeah,
think it is
fair
a
enough. I just
safe
wanted to ask.
strategy, but I have seen it change people.